up and refresh this. Why does it say upcoming? It should be open already. All right, looks like we're up. All right, we're live. This is my July 2023 stream. And I just checked back on other streams that I did. And it looks like, I think a while back I said I was going to do this. Or I said like, oh yeah, I'll do this like once a month and this and that. But that did last for a short time. But then I think I skipped a couple of months. I think it was April and or May. I forget. But I did this in June. It's actually been over a month now because I did it near the end of June, and now we're at like the end of July, as in like tomorrow's the last day of July. So, yeah, I have a whole new display going on over here. Actually, these have all been up here for about a week now. I did all this last Sunday. Yeah, because is today Sunday? Yeah, it is Sunday. But yeah, so I just have a few kind of random things laid out here based off what I think people brought up last time. I know buses were mentioned a fair bit in like comments and then videos, so I went around and I gathered up at least what buses I could easily get to in my collection. I actually have a bunch of smaller scale buses over here on the windowsill. There's like 2 or 3 more that I don't have here in the room right now, but I have them. They're just somewhere. But yeah, I didn't realize I had enough buses to fit the windowsill on here. What I usually do is I put 8 vehicles on here. I used to put 7. I don't know why I did, because I could have always put 8, but that's kind of how I do things on here. And usually I'll put cars on here that are based off like what I have out in terms of 1/18 scale cars. Like I could have done like a Mercedes theme because I have this Mercedes Roadster down here, but I thought I haven't done buses, I don't think, ever on the windowsill, so I figured I would go ahead and do that. And a few of these I haven't dug out for a long time either, so I thought, you know, that would be cool. A couple of you commented and asked if I had buses. I know that there's that's a whole other, I think, interest group out there. I do like buses, I just don't collect models of them. I'm trying to think. Pretty much all these here were given to me, except for, well, I bought that one from a hobby shop, that SO bus. And okay, I guess I lied a little bit. These 2 here, I know I bought. That one there. Maybe those 2? I know for sure the Tamika bus. Okay. But these big buses for sure, with the exception of the Disney bus, I did not get for myself. They were all gifted to me. I also have some limos here too, because I happened to find these limos in the box where I found these 2 buses, and this was actually hidden up here in my room. This Disney bus. Yeah, Matchbox releases each year like a bus to sell exclusively at Disney themed resorts. I assume not just at Disney World. I happened to get this one from the Epcot Center gift shop in spring 2016. And I'm thinking about it, I don't know if they did a 2022 or 23 bus or not. I hope they haven't stopped that tradition, because they were doing every year since 2000. Matchbox did a Disney bus. My brother actually has the 2000 Disney bus. He found that at a hobby shop. But I remember when I was at the park, I was thinking like, I need to get the Disney bus from here. And sure enough, I found it. It was a school trip, so we went to the 4. It was like Magic Kingdom and Epcot were on the first day, and then it was like Universal, and then we did like Blizzard Beach, and then we did the Animal Kingdom, I think. Yeah, things have changed there. A lot's changed there in the past, 7 years, but yeah, that was a fun trip, and I got this bus from there. Hello, Nick. What's up? Nice selection of diecast vehicles. Thank you. Great to see you. Oh, this is like a metallic red, by the way. It's hard to see in this kind of darkness, but this is the same. Matchbox uses the same um, tour bus casting for each year's Disney bus that they do. I'm pretty sure these are just stickers on here. Actually, yeah. Yeah, it's peeling up a tiny little bit. I don't really take this out too often because it is a special kind of souvenir to me and whatnot. They have changed the wheels over the years, but it's the same 2000 tour bus casting. There is actually a few seats in there you can see through these windows, but it's primarily a metal casting too. It's actually quite heavy because the whole back part of it is die cast. I thought maybe like there was a whole row of windows and like they just covered over the back windows, but no, this is pretty much all die cast metal aside from the front window section here. Oh, I forgot it does say stuff on the bottom. Motor Coach Industries. I assume that's. Oh yeah, there's actually a badge on the front of the bus here. I don't know. There's probably a whole bunch of bus or coach companies out there. They probably all make similar models and stuff in real life. Copyright 2007, so I assume they updated the casting that year. But this pretty much looks identical in terms of the mold and stuff to the 2000 tour bus that my brother actually has. But yeah, there's that there. Dig the bus and limos. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was just saying how some people I think asked or mentioned about diecast buses, and I figured, no, that'd be something cool to show off in like a stream at some point, you know? Oh, this one back here, this is a pullback bus. My grandfather, I'll have to ask him when and where he got this, I forget, because I know he got it at like a model train show or something. It's a 1950s Mercedes-Benz bus. Oh, by the way, if you ever see an S like this on the bottom of a model car, that means it's made by Superior Models. For like years and years, I had no idea about that. And then I wound up getting a Superior model like new in the box. And then when I opened it up on the base, it said, you know, S with that logo, like that S logo. So I thought, oh wow, I should have maybe known that sooner. But they make a lot of medium scaled cars, mostly like between 143rd and 124th, I want to say. I have a few other Superior models, but it just so happens that this bus is made by them. It says Euro Coach on there, Euro Coach service, London, Paris, Berlin, Zurich, and Rome. And yeah, it is a pullback. You got some detail back there. 1950 to 55, and this is 155th scale, by the way. Mercedes-Benz Omnibus O3500. I wonder why they give it a year range as opposed to an actual year. I guess they were all identical in that model year range. Oh, there is opening doors, too. You have to kind of push it out from the bottom. Like that. So, pretty cool and pretty well detailed, too. I used to play with this on the floor and stuff. Luckily, it's not really banged up or anything. I think because I figured it was probably, like, uncommon, I didn't really play with it as much. This is also made by Superior, by the way. This is a tour bus. It says Starline on it. I assume that might be a real company. It's got some scuffs and stuff on it. I'll have to get those off somehow. But the whole top part's plastic, but the rest of it is actually die cast. And this is also a pullback. This is also made by Superior. This is probably, there you go, there's the pullback. There we go. This is probably 143rd-ish scale, maybe 148th. It's like O scale, you know, like for Lionel trains and stuff. This door opens too, by the way, like that. There's a little lever on the bottom of the, or on the base of the bus. You just kind of pull it like that, or you have to kind of push it and pull it. It's a little bit hard to operate. I've had this one since I was a little kid. Same thing. I got this around the same time. My grandfather, he got me this around the same time as this Mercedes bus that I just showed. But yeah, it's kind of hard to do the pullback on the blanket here. But yeah, there is a full set of seats in there too, so it's decently detailed, I think. I'm not sure what this would have retailed for or if it's even still being made, but yeah, bus models aren't really that easy to come by. And if, you know, they are, they're pretty well detailed and they're fairly expensive to get. This would have been on the cheaper side because it's made by Superior. Superior, I'm trying to think of how I can compare them in terms of like quality and stuff. If they made 1/18 scale cars, which I don't think they really did, I'd probably place them next to Welly in terms of quality. You know, they're I'd say a little better than Maisto, definitely better than Motor Max, but around like Welly grade, I think, in terms of quality and detail. But it's kind of hard because all their scales are a bit obscure and kind of all over the place, depending on what vehicle it is they're making a model of. So this back here, speaking of detail, is a really nice Corgi Greyhound bus. My grandfather got this through a catalog called Diecast Direct. I don't know if they're still around or not. He used to get them in the mail. I'll have to ask him if he's ordered from them recently because I don't think he's gotten catalogs. But this was in there and he got it, I want to say in like the late 2010s or something. But it's very well detailed. So he says Corgi on the base. Cena Cruiser. So it's based off like a 1950s era Greyhound bus. So you have the second story up there. Really nice fine detailing on it, mostly on the exterior. But you have that nice chrome trim around each of the windows. Separately cast wipers up here, the Greyhound printing. Even the wheels are well detailed too. This is 1/50th. 1/50th? This is actually the box for it back here. Yeah, 1/50th scale. I don't know what that is. Greifel. But it's made by Corgi. At least I thought it was. It says Corgi on the base. But yeah, and like even the paint on here too. They use multiple colors, multiple finishes too. If this were 1/18 scale, that'd be really cool. I'm sure. I think there's 1/18 scale bus castings out there, but of course they're massive. I wouldn't ever get one of those because I wouldn't know where to put it. Oh, you know what? Here's something. It says Philadelphia right up there. You could actually get a choice as to what destination the bus had on it. So when this bus model was being made, it would have different destinations in the front, like New York or Philadelphia or Chicago and other American cities like those. I forgot about. I haven't gotten this out of the box for quite some time. I have to put it up on the shelf or something because it is like a nice casting. And the interior is actually saddle colored, which I think is accurate to what the real Greyhounds would have in there. They look nice for that low end. Yeah, they do in terms of those three buses there, especially this one, which I would consider to be upper end. See, and Corgi too, I don't really know where to place them because I don't really get a lot of models from them. And they're known mainly for their small scale 1/64th scale models. If they do make a large scale model, it's hard to kind of pinpoint where the quality is. I mean, obviously, like for this one, it's really well done. This was expensive, I think, too. I don't know what he paid for it. I should have probably asked him before I did the stream, so I would have given you guys some more info. Very nice period bus. Yeah, they really, I think, nailed the look of it and everything, and the paint schemes and whatnot. Of course, they got the Philadelphia version because we are from the Philadelphia region, I suppose I should say. Can you imagine a 1/18 scale bus? No, I really can't. That would be so big. I know somebody does like 1/18 scale, like semi or articulated, depending on where you're from, you say it differently. Tractor trailer, semi truck, cabs. That guy, what's his name? Jameson's? Yeah. The channel Jameson's Diecast Cars. He has that pretty huge collection of 1/18 scale cars in his basement. I know he has a few. I forget what brand they're from. But if I had unlimited space, I would probably get at least one giant bus or semi-truck casting. There's also 1/6 scale cars. I don't even get me started about those, how massively big those are. I know because I have that 1/8 scale Lego Bugatti Chiron, and that thing is absolutely massive. Oh, and there's sunroofs up here too. I forgot to mention that. Oh, and this actually comes with a set of mirrors. I think some of you probably saw the holes up here. What they do is they don't put the mirrors on the bus. They put them in the box. So that way you can install them later. Just got to pull this out real quick. Okay, you see right here, they're still in there. They're still in the factory plastic. It's hard to tell. They're kind of on these like stalks, but these mirrors go or are mounted to the front of the bus there. But he actually never took these out. I think I'm going to stick to the tradition and leave them wrapped up like that. But yeah, he had this out on his train layout too at one point. But I think he just decided to not put the mirrors on. Oh yeah, because then if you were to put this back in the box, you'd have to take them off anyway. So you can't really glue them on. Is there room for... Yeah, no. No, there's not. So yeah, there really is not a point if you're going to, ever store this, which you should, because it's a, a highly detailed model. You want to keep it safe when it's not on your shelf. There we go. As for the rest here, I do have those limos. They happen to be stored in the same space where these two buses were stored, so I brought them up too from down in the basement just because I think on my Instagram I might have shown these two. I'm not sure though, but in the front here I have the Maisto Players Lincoln Navigator limo in this really cool green. It says Players on the side there. Maisto used to do this kind of custom, almost Dub City-esque series of cars called Players. They were in various scales, namely 1/64th scale. I used to get them when they were out. I no longer have a whole bunch, and I regret that now because they go for quite a bit of money, some of the castings. I have a few, this one included, but they made 1/24th scale and 1/64th scale. And some like a 1/18 scale vehicles too. Some of you might know about the, I don't know if it's really a trend or what, like 04 Rich. It's like any cars that were like really expensive when new back in 2004, like namely like the Escalades, the Mercedes S-Classes, Lincoln Navigators, cars like that. If you have one now, you'd be considered apparently 04 rich, because if you were to have owned this vehicle in 2004 or in the mid-2000s, you would have been rich back then. But now, with depreciation, they're kind of more attainable. And these aren't, and I just mentioned only like a few. There's several more that I can think of, like, the Lexus has C430, the Maserati Spider, Ferrari 360 Modena. Yeah, that one. But yeah. 04 Rich Big Baller, did not know that. Yeah, I found out, believe it or not, on Facebook, there was a group on there dedicated to, fanfare related stuff, or people who actually own cars like, this one, or just, and sometimes there are diecasts that featured on there. But yeah, the Maisto Players cars really do kind of scream 04 Rich. I kind of explained it not that well, but if you just Google it, you'll see, what it means, I suppose. Have you seen the 118 e-tron GT Maisto released yet? No, and Barago is actually the one who makes that model, but Barago had that in their catalog, but I haven't seen it yet. But a couple of Australian YouTubers posted their like Costco videos, because Costco's over there are now getting Maisto models and Barago models. I assume Costco's here in the US will soon follow suit. And there was a silver e-tron amongst those videos, so I wonder if they'll make their way here to US Costco's. I don't think they're going to turn up at Sam's, unfortunately. There's also the Lamborghini Revuelto casting that Maisto hasn't released yet. That was supposed to be a release for this year at some point, probably for towards the end of the year. But yeah, this is the Maisto Lincoln Navigator casting. At one point I did have to glue the bumper back on because it was coming off. But yeah, you got the kind of blingy wheels, the metallic paint, lowered suspension, and rubber tires too. And a lot of these have metal bases. This one does not. Is it scale 1/64? Oh yeah, it does. This is actually true 1/64th scale, I would assume. So that is cool. And for these limos, we have two 1999 Lincoln Town cars. This one is by Kins Fun, and this one is by Kins Mart. I think Kins Fun and Kins Mart are the same brand, or mostly the same brand. I don't really know. But this town car in the front here is is 1/52nd scale. It's got opening doors, as you see here. It's white with kind of that light gray interior and the black dashboard. And it's also a pullback too. Here, do it on this hard surface. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Yeah, it's somewhat fast, I think. Or not. But yeah, this is a cool one. Just don't like how the doors sort of fly open like that. Make it a game of closing the doors. I think it says limousine stretch on the license plate. Yeah, it does. So does this one. Yeah, see, it says this is Kinsmart. This is Kins Fun. I don't know why, if they're like the same brand or what. I think they are the same brand. I have to figure that out at some point. I should have probably looked into that when I did my pullback cars video. I did make a video where I showcased all of my Kinsmart pullback cars. I plan to do the same for all my Maisto and Welly pullback cars because I have a fair bit of those too. So that'll be coming up in the future. And also make sure you check out my Plymouth and Chrysler Voyager van unboxing and review video that I just posted earlier this afternoon. They're by Maisto, and it was actually a set of 4. You got 4 vans in 4 different colors. Very rare set. And in the video, I kind of, I guess, talk about the obscurity of the set, and I review it as well. So make sure you check that out once you're done with watching the stream here. But this is the 1/38 scale version of that limo. This actually has a black vinyl top. This also has been made in black and silver as well. You have an opening sunroof. Very cool. Opening hood. And 4 opening doors as well. And this is 1/38 scale. I think I already said that. But I got this one from Walgreens. I haven't seen one since then at, a Walgreens or a CVS. See, these places are kind of like Sam's Club, where if you see a model there, you don't know if it's going to turn up again. So that's why you go ahead and buy it as soon as you see it. There's always that one door you can't really get open. It's difficult. There we go. Very stiff. You kind of see in there is kind of like a fridge or something in there, maybe a TV, and then they have the suitcases on the rear seat. Then you have that rear-facing bench seat kind of behind the front bench seat / driver's seat. There actually is a bit of detail on the dashboard too. I was kind of surprised to see that. But yeah, I think this is well worth the $6 or $7 that I paid for it. And of course, it's a pullback. Amazon has this too if you want to get it. I liked looking at the reviews for this because a lot of people bought these as like, cake toppers for like weddings and birthdays and stuff like that. So, and I think at one point there was a listing on either eBay, I think it was that, yeah, where you could get all 3 colors, silver, black, and white, all together instead of getting them, separately. The sunroof does kind of fly open, so just keep that in mind if you do get the model. Now this one in the front here, this is a remote control C8 Corvette that I will be doing that I did do a video on. I just have to edit it, and that'll actually be coming either next or after one that I'm planning also. But this is from Walmart. I paid $10 for it. I didn't think that was too bad for, an RC car, because this does have working lights. You don't really see that. I'll turn it on and actually show you guys. This is the control here. But you see it has the working lights and the working tail lights too, which I did not actually know about. I just happened to be at Walmart, and of course I'm going to go into the toy aisle. This is actually by Maisto. Maisto at Walmart is sold under the Adventure Force brand name, so although it's labeled as that there, it's still Maisto, or Maisto, depending on how you want to say it. But a couple years ago, they did introduce this line of RC cars, called Nano Racers, and they are true 1/64th scale. Maisto actually does have an identical C8 Corvette casting like this that comes actually in the same color too. But yeah, I thought it was cool that they had that there. Can you get a better look at the lights? There you go. And then the tail lights. But yeah, pretty nice RC car for the price, to be honest. Yeah, and Hot Wheels, they also make their own line of remote control cars. They go for like 15, 20, $25. I think that's a bit, I mean, I don't doubt that they're cool and that they go like really fast and stuff, but I think $10 is a good price. These are sold in terms of the Nano Racers exclusively at Walmart. You can find these online, but they're usually more than like $15. I think Walmart's the best way to get them. And I'll talk more about it in the video that I'm going to be doing. But yeah, this was kind of a unexpected find, and I went ahead and got it. You can also get the 2021 Ford Bronco, the 2018 Mustang, as well as the 2020 Jeep Wrangler. No, the Gladiator, also in the form of Nano Racers from Maisto. So yeah, that was a cool find there. I did get some Hot Wheels there too. I'll show you what I have over here and over here in a sec once I talk about these in the front. These are some local hobby shop finds from yesterday. They had a bin or a cardboard box of 1/64th scale cars, mostly like racing champions, NASCAR kind of vehicles, which I don't collect, but there were a few Matchbox, Hot Wheels, and Maisto models in there. I have a BMW patrol car by Matchbox in this kind of cool blue with the red light bar up there. This is from the early 2000s. Pretty pristine, and all the cars in this box were covered in like dirt and sand and like other crap like that. I did have to actually clean all three of these up when I brought them home, but it ended up being a fun project, and for $1 a piece, not too bad, especially since you can't really find these anymore. BMW 328i. So yeah, this is a Ford Fusion by Hot Wheels. I was surprised that I found this. This actually came from a police patrol 5-pack or something at one point, and it was all chipped up, so I actually did touch it up with a Sharpie of all things, a green Sharpie, and it turned out decently. Not my best work, but I mean, for $1, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of work to it. But I've been trying to find any of Hot Wheels' Ford Fusion castings for a while, and this one happened to be in that box, so I went ahead and got it. Eventually, if I find a better condition version of this or a similar colored Fusion from Hot Wheels, I'll replace this with that. But for right now, I think this is very cool. Then I have this black pickup by Maisto, and I can't figure out what it's based off of. It doesn't have the name of the truck on the base. It's just like, it's supposed to be a generic, 1980s or maybe like early 90s pickup truck casting. But it doesn't say what it is. It just says Maisto made in China on the base. And they still make this casting too, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I saw a 5-pack of Maistos at Walmart where this truck was in it. Of course, it was a different color. It wasn't this black, but yeah, so this was a cool find too. Yeah, these were definitely worth the stop in there. So I'll show you what I have going on over here. Yeah, you still have some decent lighting. So for the 118 stuff, I have my Nissan 350Z by Maisto, Lexus LC 500H made by the Almost Real Models brand. This is one of my favorite models that I have, one of my best quality ones too. Saturn SC Coupe by Gateway Limited, and my Ford Thunderbird made by Maisto. So yeah, I just kind of did like a random, two-door vehicles that I like theme, I suppose, but these look really good together up here, and they all kind of have faces, I just realized too, especially the Saturn. You get the eyes and the mouth on there. But yeah. And my Mercedes-Benz SLK, which is right down here. That does have the working convertible top too. red with the two-tone red and gray interior. Always loved this model. And then I actually have 3 Franklin Mints up here. Buick Skylark, and then we have the Chevy Bel Air and the Packard Caribbean, all by Franklin Mint in 1/43rd scale. Yeah, very nice models. What's going on over here? We've got that truck casting in red but with the much worse looking wheels on it. LOL. Oh, yeah. I feel like they've only released it with that particular style of wheels. Sometimes they'll release a casting and they just won't change, like, anything about it except for maybe a paint color respray here and there for its like whole entire life. They've made that truck casting for like a while. I should figure out what it's based off of. I know it's like a flare side pickup based off the, flared out wheel arches in the back, but I don't know. Is it based off a Toyota or something? I have no clue. Benz. Yeah, I love the Benz. And for the smaller scale cars up here, pretty similar stuff, I guess. I have my Volkswagen vans right here. My brother actually got me this one from Switzerland, so I was happy to get that. And this one actually came from Walmart recently, actually 1 week ago. So that's cool. Got some majorettes in this row, and then some Matchbox hatchbacks down here. I have the Honda Civic, the Volkswagen Golf, the Mercedes GLE Coupe, and the Audi e-tron, I think it is. Hot Wheels ID cars right there in that row. The various anniversary set cars in that row. And then we have some supercars in the top row. Then on this side, I have my older Hot Wheels and the older, I guess, Matchbox in those top 2 rows. I actually have a whole bunch of these Matchbox Model A truck castings. Those are just 4 of like the 6 or 7 or even 8, I think, that I have. I have 2 cereal branded ones here. This one's Raisin Bran, and that one's Raisin Bran. This one is Frosted Mini Wheats. Then I have Matchbox Speed Shop and Texaco. Got some Hot Wheels Flames cars in this row, and then I have some red lines here. Someone I think just asked about that in the comments. These 3 my grandfather gave to me. And this one was actually my dad's, and he gave it to me in the last couple years. And I actually restored it. I put new wheels on it and the new decal set. And the nice thing was that it was always chrome. There was never any paint on it. So restoring it was very simple. If it had been like one of these, that would have been hard because I wouldn't have wanted to paint it because I don't really paint stuff, number one. And number two, it just wouldn't have looked right. But the chrome, I just spent a long time, cleaning it and polishing it and stuff, dusting off the car. And it worked out like perfectly. Instagram, on my page on there, this was back like at the beginning of the pandemic. I know I don't really want to be talking about that, but this is kind of a project for them that I did. And I did, I think, showcase the results on my social media page. Oh, these 3 are mystery cars I got from Walmart the same day that I got the Volkswagen van right here. So, and this glows in the dark. This is the Speed Spider. And then we have the Dior 3. I got that a few weeks ago on my birthday. Actually, yeah, I bowled with my friends that day and had a nice dinner out, and then I ended up stopping at Dollar Tree on the way home and found this and a few additional cars there. And down here, I got a couple of the Jay Leno cars that you guys have seen before, and a couple of the Japanese car culture cars that are from that car culture 6-pack, I want to say it was. It was from like a little while back, but yeah. I wonder if I can get more light in here. That didn't help too much. Then up here, I got some pullbacks. This is a Pontiac GTO by Welly. Got that from Rite Aid. And then these 2 came from CVS. The Lamborghini Miura and the Volkswagen pickup. I don't know what's this actually called. It's not the bus, because it's obviously not a bus. Volkswagen Bus Double Cab Pickup. That's a mouthful. 1963 in bright pink. And the 70 Pontiac Firebird, also made by Welly. Down here I have the Tomicas. I think there's a little bit of a better view. Yeah, you can kind of get a better look at the Hot Wheels from here. It's Hot Wheels, Matchbox, Maisto, and Majorette in my case here. It's kind of getting darker out, so well, not really. I just the way that the sun is setting right now. But yeah, I always like switching out. So my process, and you guys have probably heard this a bunch of times now. The big cars, I switch those out like every 2 weeks, and the display case stuff, I switch that out. Well, the cars up top, I switch out with the big cars, but the small scale stuff in the case, I switch out every like month or so, just because it takes a longer time. And I always love the themes I end up putting in there. I don't want to take them down, too soon. So yeah, that's how that goes. I do have some of the Tomicas with their boxes down here. Got the Nissan Kicks, Jeep Wrangler with the rear top that comes off, the Subaru Forester, and the Toyota Alphard minivan. Those are cool. This one came from Japan, and this one actually did too, and that one. This one came from Walmart back when they were actually selling those there. That didn't last long, unfortunately, due to the pandemic. It was sort of like the majorette at a Toys R Us thing between 2017 and 2018. It was there and then just gone because Toys R Us folded. Of course, Walmart didn't fold, but the distribution got really not so great there due to the pandemic, which is unfortunate. But hopefully, speaking of Walmart, a couple of you did comment on Walmart on here. Haven't found any car culture cars for months. Well, yeah, in terms of like in-store stuff. Now, Amazon, that's where you have to go for that stuff. They sell it in those sets, um, like in those like container sets. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. If you go under my videos, I did get the American Scene Car Culture set and the Deutschland set, and they came in those kind of container storage things. But your best bet is to get them from there. I mean, I know that kind of takes away from the thrill of hunting those things down, but there's a point where you have to just say like, I'm not going to find these things in stores. I sort of figured that like a while back. You may get lucky, and yeah, Walmart is never that great. I happened to be in there because my mom had an appointment at the Vision Center, so I tagged along, and most of the times I go there are for that too. And I just, if I happen to be in there, I'll go look at the toy section, because when it's not bone dry, it's just like trashed, and like I really don't want to, it's. I will say that when I went there a week ago, I did get this remote control car. I got that orange Volkswagen van. I got a second van. It's like a 40 Econoline or something. I don't have it in the case right now. I got these mystery cars, and I got a couple of other like Hot Wheels too. But yeah, I just happened to get lucky-ish at that point. I'm sure there's people who go in there, all hours of the day waiting for restocks and stuff. I don't really have the time to do that between, working full time, and because I always end up finding the stuff I want eventually. And I think that's the main thing you have to kind of think about when you're looking for certain like Hot Wheels or any, model car casting sold in a store. And like that even goes for like those bigger scale cars that are at like Sam's Club and Costco and whatnot. It's just a matter of just like a waiting game. If on like, you know, eBay or something, you can find a casting you want for a good price, then go ahead and get it. But if it's, like a lot more money just because you can't find it in a store right as soon as you look for it, it's worth, waiting a little bit. And then if you absolutely can't find it, or if it's been like months, then it's time to maybe look for it somewhere else. But I've always waited for certain like desirable Hot Wheels castings, not super treasure hunts. I'm never gonna find one of those, but for popular new Hot Wheels castings, I'll find them eventually. They'll turn up at Giant in like a dump bin or something, or at like a Dollar Tree somewhere. So, but yeah, that was just kind of my 2 cents on um, the state of Hot Wheels in stores. It's still as messed up as it was in 2020. Maybe a little bit better now in terms of the distribution and whatnot. Although I will say that at this one local Giant that I went to, They had a full dump bin, but they had cars in there from like a year ago. Like not the same cars that have been sitting in there for a year, but castings that I found at that same giant a year ago. I'm talking like the GMC Hummer in yellow, that Lucid Air, the Alfa Romeo 8C, Competizione, like all of those that I was really excited to find in July of last year. And now I'm like, oh, look, there's a restocked dump bin. And it's castings like that again. It's like we're headed back into 2022 or something, which I don't want to go back there for multiple reasons. But, you know, that's just how it is sometimes. Of course, places like Walmart and some, other stores and like the other giants around too, like they'll get newer Hot Wheels sometimes. I think they probably just bought like a whole huge stockpile of Hot Wheels maybe in 2022. And just whenever the dump bin runs low, they'll come out and put more in there. And eventually they'll get a whole bunch of like new Hot Wheels shipments of newly, I don't know, of newer released cars, I guess we'll say. But yeah. Um, oh, how can you tell if the Maisto 118 BMW 325i convertible has the working top? I know you have one. I'm trying to find one. There are several ways you can tell. So the first way is to look at the box. If the box has a picture of the car with the top coming up on the side flaps, you're guaranteed to have a working convertible top model in the box. Also, Maisto, you know what? I'm going to try to maybe get it right now, and then I can show you. So you can look at these buses for a little bit while I try to get the box for the model. I know exactly where it is. I just have to pull it out. But yeah, there's several ways you can tell. The best way is with the box. But a lot of times you don't have the model in its original box, and that's okay. There's other ways to tell. But I'm gonna get mine out right now. I found it. Okay, we're good. All right, so, oops, I almost dropped my phone on the floor. So here's how you can tell in several ways. First off, you have a picture of the convertible with the working top on the top portion of the box. If it does not have the working convertible top, you'll just see a picture of a side profile of the same red model, but with the top down, and it will not have the working top. On the side flaps of certain versions of this box, it will have this picture of the top coming up on the car. This holds true for the other side flap too. You see that right there. Also, I believe when these were brand new in the box, which mine was, the top is put up at the factory. The door actually opened up a little bit on there. And also you, of course, have a picture of the car with the top coming up as a sticker on the side window of the box on this side and also on, actually, no, I'm sorry, it's just on this side here. But on the bottom, you'll have a diagram that has the opening parts, and you'll, of course, see that it has the opening top in those pictures right there. This is actually coming out of the box. I'm going to take this out and put it back in nicely because I don't want it to get banged up, and plus that door opened on there too. Now, apparently, according to this site called twolanedesktop.com, where this guy by the name of Joe does these like kind of photo articles and comparisons of models. Apparently the models of this BMW that say cabriolet instead of convertible do not have the functioning top, and the convertible ones do. I don't think that's true for newer versions, but I could also be wrong on that. But another way to tell is that if the trunk opens, it does not have the working top. The working top version does not have the opening trunk. But aside from that, they are very close in terms of how they look and everything. Obviously, for this one, it has the working top, but yeah. And of course, eBay on there, a lot of times sellers will be upfront and you'll know whether or not, based off the photos of the model, if it has a working top or not. And one other thing, There's a lighter kind of purplish blue version. No versions of that came with the working top. The white version came with both working top and no top, as did the red version and the blue version. And I think possibly the black version with the red interior as well. I had to do a lot of research, and not all of this is like easy to come by for models like this, which you think it would be, but it's really not, unfortunately. I got mine back in 2020, late 2020, for I think I paid $30 for it in total, including shipping and everything. It was still brand new in the box. It still had all these shipping straps attached to the hood and the doors. I got it in like at the beginning of December, and then of course we all know what happened at the end of that year with all the different, mail delays and stuff like that. So this ended up arriving on Christmas Eve, so it was a nice kind of, I guess, gift for myself on that day. But yeah, so that's the gist of how you can tell. And I do have a video where I unbox this and I review it, so make sure you check that out too. Yeah, you made a fair point. I mean, if I'm buying online, I'd rather get higher end diecast, such as Mini GT or Tarmac Works, rather than just getting Hot Wheels. Yeah, especially for like Hot Wheels, like mainline cars. For the car culture stuff, if I happen to like most of, if not all of, a whole series or set, I'll splurge and get the whole set from like, the Amazon listing that I saw or something like that. But yeah. I used to have one, but it's broken. Yeah, these are fragile. These did not last a whole long time. I think 2002 was the last year that Maisto offered the working top version of the model. The rarest version of this model is the dark metallic green version with the working top. That's another fact that I know. I had a BMW like the white one you got there. Dig it. Oh, yeah, thanks. Okay, I will search on eBay. I occasionally do search for models I already have just to see like how much they're going for or if there's a whole lot um, on there. You're going to see a lot more non-working top versions than you are for the working top versions. That's just kind of a given thing. So just keep that in mind, I guess, when you are searching for it. But a lot of sellers put like really well-detailed photos and stuff on their listings, so you won't have too much trouble with that. But expect to pay more for a working top version. I just happened to get lucky because prices went down significantly on models on eBay and other sites in general at the end of 2020. So yeah, I'm gonna put this back where I had it. You can look at the buses once again in that corgi box. But yeah, those are the ways to tell, I suppose. And there might be a couple more details that I'm missing, but just from what I've done over the years in terms of research and just looking for the model on my own and everything, they're kind of the details that I've seen that can be used to sort of differentiate between working top and non-working top versions of the model. But keep in mind that a lot of times for desirable models like that, you may have to bid for them. A lot of my models I've gotten, I've happened to get lucky and they've been like buy it now listings. Or I'll make an offer for like a few dollars under and I'll get the accepted offer from the seller, or the offer accepted, I should say, from the seller. That's happened several times with several kind of the more uncommon models that I have gotten. But I'm pretty much finished at this point for right now in terms of 1/18 scale stuff, because I have pretty much most of what I want. I really don't have the space currently. At some point when I have my own place, I do plan on getting, more space to put models and whatnot. But for right now, what I have is going to be, it for a little bit, at least. So, but yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of how you can tell the difference between working top and non-working top versions of that model. And it is kind of hard to even tell from there too. So will I. I do have the 03 Mustang Oh, I'm sorry, the coupe, oh, the concept. I know what you're talking about. I don't have that, but Beanstalk Group, who actually made a model of the '03 Thunderbird and the '04 Thunderbird, they made a model of the '03 Ford Mustang concept coupe and convertible. I don't have either of those, but I know what you're talking about. Though they're also kind of hard to find. Oh, I never showed up here. My two newest models, actually. Ferrari F50 by Maisto, which was from Sam's Club in this exclusive metallic white with the black and red interior, and the Ferrari Monza by Maisto slash Barago, I'm going to say. Because it actually is made by both of those brands. But this is that really cool gray with the yellow stripes and the yellow roll lump. I don't know what to call this part. I'll have to make sure I know before I review this. But yeah, and then of course my Civic that I always have here because I have the real version as my daily driver in a different shade of red. Then we got my Lego fish tank up here, aquarium. I'll have to dust this off at some point. But yeah, cool stuff. I have the coupe, but it is SEMA edition. Or SEMA. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know, Maisto made a 1/24th scale version in red of that concept. It was also a model kit too, I want to say. But yeah, I love the SP1. Picked one up too this year. Cool car. Yeah, it really is. That was a really popular. Barago launched, I think, both that and the Sion models in like the same summer. That was a big year. I mean, Barago really has, I think, come far in recent years with the quality of their models, and you certainly see that with like the Bugatti Divo, the Bugatti Bolide, the Lamborghini Sion, and the Ferrari Monza. I keep almost saying Ferrari Mythos because there was a concept car called the Ferrari Mythos from the 1990s. It was based off either the F50 or the Testarossa. Oh, and also there was a car called the Ferrari Testarossa, as in two words, which makes it all the more, confusing and everything. Does Maisto make the FF and or the GTC4 Lusso? No, and they should. I keep waiting for Barago to release the 812 Superfast and the GTC4 Lusso in 118 scale, but they haven't done that. We, of course, do have the 296 and the Daytona SP3. Is that what it's called? Whatever the big, huge Lego model Ferrari is, the Daytona SP3. But yeah. The FF was made by Hot Wheels in 118 scale back when they were still manufacturing Ferrari models in that scale in the late 2010s before Maisto and Barago got the exclusive license award. A lot of people were actually ticked off about that back in 2015, but I honestly wasn't because I think, honestly, the pricing is better for the Barago models. I will say that the Barago signature models, I think, should be a little bit more higher end compared to the regular models because they do have a pretty big price difference, but they're hard to find in the first place. Plus, you can always, if you have a wholesale club like membership, you can always find these Barago Ferraris there, branded as Maistos. You would think they would since they have a partnership with Ferrari. Yeah. And they don't just release 118 model Ferraris. They have Ferrari models in like additional scales, like smaller scales. But yeah, I think a bigger variety would definitely be nice to see. I think they're doing a decent job so far. And the quality is pretty good, I would say. I don't know if the signature deserves to be, a whole lot more money than the race and play versions for the Barago Ferraris. But yeah. What about the 412? See, I'm not too knowledgeable about some of the more recent Ferraris, so I don't see if I can look it up on here. What is the 412? 412P? Oh, this one, the one from the 80s? If that's the one you're talking about, yeah, I like that one. I don't know if anyone made a model of it though. Speaking of interesting Ferraris, one I keep forgetting about is the Ferrari 456 wagon. Venice. Yeah, the Ferrari 456, 456 Venice. It was a station wagon. They only made like two of them or something. Braga will make the Ferrari Purosangue. I don't know how you say it. The SUV they're going to come out with. They're going to make that as a 1/24th scale model in the coming year or two. So that'll be cool to see. I can't seem to get back on the. You gotta love having a 5-year-old laptop. It already starts to like not work after a while. Okay, whatever. I'm not replacing it because I work full time, so I have access to a decent computer at least for most of the week. So I used to do a lot of my schoolwork on here back when I was still in school, and it was fine then. It's still okay now. It just freezes up from time to time. Like everything's good. It's just not responding to my whatever. Screw it. At least the live stream, I guess, is still okay. I have this open in case I miss comments because they pop up on my screen here, and I don't always see them right away. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what else to really talk about. I think that's pretty much it. I gave some channel updates, showed off some random stuff I brought up to show you all, and yeah, that's pretty much it. For videos, I already kind of talked about that. I'll have a video up on the remote control Corvette. I was going to try to show you the Power Racer set I got from eBay, but this won't be whatever. Yeah, I got a set of like 5 or 6 Maisto Power Racers from the 1990s from eBay in the past week. It should be arriving either tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm going to unbox and review that. So either you'll be seeing that or the remote control Corvette video next. And by 2 weeks from now, both of them will be up. And then after that, I'm not too sure. I'm probably going to save the Ferrari models for like August or something. We're in August now, practically. For towards the end of August, I should have said. But yeah. Who makes good 1/18 scale Lexus models? Auto Art, but not the recent ones because they're made of composite instead of all. Does Kyosho do them? Yeah, Kyosho has done some older Lexus models. The Almost Real brand that I got this Lexus LC from, they make some decent, really good actually models of Lexuses. This one included, I think there might be a Lexus LS or something too. But if you want to look at those, or look into those brands, they have good models of them. But yeah. This isn't responding to my clicks. Oh well. So yeah, definitely got some more cool stuff to come. And yeah, I'm glad you guys joined. See you on the next live stream. Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, thank you guys for all the different questions and everything, and for coming and enjoying my various collections I have going on and whatnot. But yeah, we'll have some more videos coming in the next couple of weeks, and we'll get back into the streams on a monthly basis. So yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Take care now.